Hi Lou, welcome. This is Martin here today with Kah Meng, and welcome to a special event that we have prepared for you. Definitely it is on Facebook, but today, as you notice from our signboard behind, you will definitely see this is definitely a Telegram in here. Say hello, Kah Meng, to the our live Facebook audience.
Hi everyone.
Okay.
Good morning.
Hi Terence, good to join in. Alright, so we do have a very interesting topic in here. So while we are waiting for more people to come in, we're just going to see, just wait for a couple of minutes. So if you can, we really appreciate if you can do the thing that we usually do is to share our video, okay, and to the respective people so they can also share. So we do a lot of sharing in here. We're trying to share to the other groups, so you can see that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, I usually try to share to the pages that I have. Right. And okay, all depends on whether. Okay, and how's everybody doing? Okay, hi Jay. Okay, good morning. And we have a warrant specialist in here. If you have any question about warrant, and if we are able to help and answer some of those, I think that some of the few things we will also explore is why warrant make a lot of sense these days. Considering with the market that we have, and we do have a little bit of a leverage. So that's all. What I'm trying to do now on my side is just want to share those pages, and on my timeline, that's what I'm going to do. So if you can, we will really appreciate it if you can share. Zach is in here, and Zach's going to really help me to share some of those too. So good. We're getting a fair bit of people coming in, and we're going to be sharing a few more in groups too. All right, which is what we normally do in our groups here. Okay, we'll get the rest, Zach, to do the sharing here. Okay, so I'm just going to share, we're going to switch on to our response. This is the thing. This is the one that okay, so we're going to move out to our pages in here. So this is the Macquarie page. And let me just go through the agenda, what we have for you today. Welcome to the first time we're doing this actually for 2020, which is the Maximizing Warrant for Returns with Mr. Leong Kah Meng in here. Macquarie. It's part of our educational series that we can do for our investor. Why warrant is so popular today. I think one of the agenda we're going to cover for the number one is this part here is what are warrants, okay? So this is where we're going to go through the very educational site, that Malaysian warrant, but this is actually sponsored by Macquarie, and they have a lot of education video in there. So we will have Mr. Leong here to go through with you, and then we're going to talk about why warrant is so popular and how to trade them, okay? So without further ado, I'll just get Mr. Leong here to explain to our audience and those who will be watching later. Alright, and to know more about warrant. Also at the end, we're going to go through some special tools, what we can use warrant for, and I'll be trading warrant. I picked up a few warrant stocks in there, so we'll just let Mr. Leong here to go through, and then we'll come back to it. Alright, take it away, Mr. Leong.
Alright, thank you, Martin. So first of all, we'd like to actually just give the layman terms what exactly are warrants. So warrants are actually an equity derivatives which is traded on Bursa Malaysia, and the price of this particular warrant follows the price movement in the underlying asset, and in this case is either stock or index. But before you kickstart on trading any warrants, you have to understand the basic concepts behind warrants itself. So two main basic concepts, call and put warrant. So call warrant is something that you will look to buy if you think the underlying asset, which is the stock or index, the price will go up. On the other, if you think that the trend is going to reverse soon, it's going to come down a bit lower, and you want to actually capitalize on the downtrend, you buy into a put warrant, because put warrant tends to increase in value when the underlying asset goes lower.
Okay. So you got the other pages you want to go through?
Yep, of course. Martin also actually, we have been discussing over this topic for quite some time.
Yes.
In the past few months, why are warrants so popular among Malaysians in the past 1 to 2 years? And on our Investor Academy page as well, we did highlight a lot of reasons why the advantage of trading warrants. But end of the day, what I want to highlight here is this is the number one reason why investors actually trade warrants. Warrants are a leverage product in the sense that because warrants are all low in price, usually trade below 20 cents. So when you compare the price movement, a 1 cent price movement in a 20 cent warrant versus a 1 cent price movement in a 10 ringgit stock. So in terms of the percentage of gains and losses, warrant tends to have a higher percentage of gain or losses. Therefore, the leverage is actually higher.
That's right. Well, one of the things I like to add on is one of the things that warrant very popular in the sense of mindset. If I don't have a lot of cash out front, let's say I have only like something like $2,000 or $5,000, it does make a lot of sense to trade the warrant, and this is partly due to the gearing effect that Mr. Leong is talking about. Perhaps you can also go on to some stocks. Of course, you know, in the past when people say if you buy something that is in pennies, it tends to be what we call, you know, penny counters, and these are not quality companies. But unlike what we're going to show you today, you can actually buy great companies using warrant, and perhaps Mr. Leong can share a bit more on that one.
As mentioned by Martin as well, because warrants are cheaper, so therefore in terms of the amount of capital, there's no minimum amount of capital that you need to put in to start buying warrants, but in terms of the overall capital to gain the same effective exposure is definitely lower than buying the share directly. And also to highlight something which is good for investors who trade warrants, started back in 2018, you do not have to pay for stamp duty. So this will effectively reduce your cost of trading warrants. And last but not least, as mentioned earlier, we have the call and put. So it doesn't really matter what is the market trend, you are still able to make profit from the market, either bull or bear.
Yeah, I think this is really favorable. I mean, we've been working with Macquarie here to really educate our Malaysian public and also those of you who are members of TradeVSA the benefit of warrant. Now, we all know that the Malaysian stock market in the real context is only going long. We can't go short, okay? So how do we go short there? So if you go short, then you have to buy the futures market. So this is where we have the long and the short, okay? The long, also we have a couple of audiences coming into our office here. So the short, we can do what we call the put warrant, all right? Now, although not many of the warrant have a lot of put, but definitely I think Macquarie is working with Bursa to bring in more put products so they can be able to short. But I do think for 2020 it's going to be a good bull market in here. Perhaps one reason we talked about earlier on, Mr. Leong, was why warrant has been raised lately is that he did show me some statistics about the volume that was been growing in it, isn't it? 2017. Perhaps you can share a bit.
Yep. If we bring the volume of the warrants way back to back to 2014, where Macquarie, before we actually came in, if I'm mistaken, the warrants turnover per day was about 8 million ringgit.
8 million. Mm-hmm.
And the average turnover for 2018 and 2019 is about 100 million each a day. So you can see it's a huge growth. It's more than 10 times, and there must be a reason why. And today I actually highlighted to you a few reasons why. And for investors who have not yet to know about warrants yet, so this is the best chance for you to learn. You can go to our website to actually find out more.
Okay, that's very good. Now, what should I do if I want to trade warrant? I mean, if any of you, I would like to ask Mr. Leong here. What should I do if I want to trade warrant?
So actually, this is one of the common FAQ that I receive from investors on both our, on the call and also on seminar. So for investors who do not know, Macquarie, we are not a retail broker. We are purely a warrant issuer. So for you to trade our warrants, purely you just need to have a CDS account. With any other brokers, you just have to log into the platform, look for warrants, and just buy and sell through the platform. Simple as that.
Okay. So what basically Mr. Leong is sharing is that you just need a basic account, a trading account, may it be CIMB, may it be Hong Leong, may it be Maybank, and what you need to do is to just look at the related stock. But don't worry about that. We're going to show you how we're going to pick those stocks with one of the tools that we are working together with Macquarie to have it available to you, which is the stock picking tools that give you a lot of the ideas. Okay. Now, if you have any questions from the audience, is it possible to short in Bursa? That is a question posed by Mr. Kan Cheo here. Perhaps Mr. Leong, you want to answer that one? Is it possible to short in Bursa?
I think to short in Bursa, in terms of stock-wise, you have the IDSS, the intraday short selling. I think pretty much will be that for stocks itself. But for warrants, so far at the moment, we do not have any put warrants over single stock, Malaysia single stocks yet, but we are going to introduce soon. If you wish to get exposure to downside market, perhaps you can look at some index warrants like KLCI index, Hang Seng index, or even A50 index.
I think that's great. I think that's one of the good things too. But I do know that some of our members in TradeVSA plus myself, we actually short. You can short the index, the FKI index, the Hang Seng index, Hang Seng futures, and also what's the other one?
The A50.
A50. What is A50?
A50, the underlying that we are tracking basically is an ETF, which is listed on Hong Kong. This A50 China ETF tracks the performance of the top 50 China listed company. And if you're interested, or you're really into China stocks, you are bullish or bearish, either way, you can actually try to look at A50. And how to actually find all these things, you can just go to a website, which is this particular website. Just go to
MalaysianWarrant.com.my, that's right.
Yes, and you just have to go to Warrants Education under the index warrants, and here you go. We even have the SP 500, but at the moment we do not have any US index warrants at the moment. We are in the midst of listing new one, and this A50 is the one that I'm referring to, the A50 China. So here you are. So to find out more information, you can just go through our website here.
Okay, great. Now, one of the things that the reason why we are doing our first is actually to guide some of our trader investors to select some stocks. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing. Perhaps Mr. Leong, you want to start off with how to guide investors to select a warrant. Okay, by looking at the view, time frame, and gearing and liquidity. Before I'll show you that tools. Would you want to share something?
Yeah, sure. Why not? So in Macquarie, we basically we came up with 4 simple steps to actually help investors to go through the long list of warrants and how there are no best warrant out there. There's the most suitable warrant for each and every investor. So how can we actually achieve that? So what we do here is usually, what you can do is you go to our page under the warrant search. And here I'm going to show 4 simple steps that we have here. Step number 1, investors always must have a view over the underlying stock. Do not buy into a warrant if you don't think the stock is going to move in either way, either up or down. And after choosing, assuming that if here we're going to choose, like for example, FGV.
Don't worry, I will choose the stocks because that's what we are good at.
Martin will go through the filter and will select stock for all the investors today. And assuming that we are looking at FGV. So if we are bullish on FGV, we select a call warrant. And second step will be mostly the time frame. Every investor has different time frame. Investor A might think that FGV might go up in the next 1 week. Some investors might think that FGV might go up in the next 1 month. So depending on your own time frame, if your time frame is assuming it's a month, always encourage investors to look at warrants with at least 3 to 6 months to expiry. Effective gearing is the third step. As mentioned earlier in our FB Live just now, we actually mentioned that warrants itself are leverage product. So leverage products means it comes with a multiplier effect. So an effective gearing which is high means that this particular warrant will give you a higher profit potential at the same time, also subjected to
So what we do is that when I show you guys our new Macquarie screener, which have our TradeVSA proprietary, and that's going to be a really game changer. Shall we do that?
I guess we can touch on that a bit later.
Okay.
Just assuming that you're using warrant search, you go less than 5 times. Once you click submit here, we show you the list of warrants that we have over FGV listed by Macquarie. Okay, so you have two over here. Just going through the theory at the moment. We can go through the live trading slightly later. And once you click on this particular warrant that you are interested in, it will lead you straight to the live matrix page. And why I want to highlight this particular tool, because this is a very powerful tool that was introduced by us five years ago when we first came into Malaysia. This particular table allows investors to know exactly where is FGV's C86 buy and sell price throughout the day as the FGV share price move up and down. So number one, investors, you do not have to worry anymore. If you buy into C86, if it doesn't move when FGV mother share is moving up or down. And we can go through the steps on how to identify entry and exit point after Martin's session. So Martin, today do you have any stock picks for us?
Yes, I do. Now, one of the things that we want to really look at is using the Macquarie matrix in here. So definitely we switch on to our Macquarie. This is the Macquarie stocks. And for TradeVSA, what we actually have it listed in the short terms and the longer terms, okay? So here you can see, and what we do for our members, basically those of you who is familiar with our TradeVSA screener, we actually use the screener. So all the lists you can see here is the Macquarie list, all the way down, and basically we color coded it. Alright, so what I mean by color coded, the easiest is avoid anything that is all red. So the best way to do is actually to sort it out. You click here, the long term, alright, and one more click, that's a ticket. So we click this, we bring all the top. Long-term trend means, it means we are riding longer term. The higher the number, the more bullish it is. We have the shorter terms. This is the shorter term, we are just looking about 2 months. The longer term, we're looking over 1 year. So what we want to do is that we don't want to be buying anything that is, we all know Datasonic is already gone sky roof, isn't it? Correct, and the industry here is consulting. Now, in TradeVSA, we have a couple of strategies how to do that. But let me just want to go through with you some of the stocks that I have selected for today. Okay, and let me go on here. Now, this is the special tools to help beginner, and we are looking at 4 stocks here. FGV. Let me just bring this down. I'm just going to put it up. Yeah, FGV, GBC, and SKP. Now, you do notice FGV in here. So how do I look for F? Let me just turn this up again. Yeah, just type here FGV, and right now you will see FGV. It's super bullish. It is the ST is purple. Purple means it's very bullish. We want to have green, green, green. If green, purple, purple means really, really bullish. So we do know FGV is really bullish, right? And then we have these are the ones that I generally like. Means the market hasn't run yet. Right, because once it started with green, 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 eventually when you get a bit more bullish, it will turn purple, right? And this is where we are. So first thing first, we're going to look at some of these stocks in here. Now let me just go through in here. On the first columns in here, this will take you to our TradeVSA. If you look at the FGV now, we can click here. This is one of our product TradeVSA, and it takes you to Trading View, but you can look at the full-fledged chart. This is where the proprietary TradeVSA with our buy and sell signal really excel in here. So just going to show you here. Yep, the FGV. Yep, the FGV is up. So you can see FGV right now it's just turned red pentagon. Okay, so but it's still moving up. Let's see how it is. So this just tells you the market is moving up, but it has turned red pentagon, which means it may not move up higher. So if that's the case, I'll just wait for it to turn green. So I'll just move on to another stocks. Which I like this morning. Frontcan, actually, I pretty like it, but I want to show you Penta. Now, the other thing, what we have done is that we incorporated a Macquarie grid screen in here. We're talking about FGV, so when you click FGV, so you come up this screen here, that this is where you can see all the bid-ask spread in here. So FGV, and Kah Meng also mentioned, if given all things that we're saying, you always look for the one that has the highest remaining date. Is that cool? Perhaps you just can share a bit more why you should pick those that are highly liquid, hot trading as compared to next to expiry.
Yep. So as mentioned, just to recap on the 4 simple steps that I shared earlier. So step number 1 you will have a view. So imagine, assuming that we are still bullish on FGV, so now we need to think how long we plan to actually hold on to these stocks. assuming the short term is 2 months, perhaps we want to look at warrants which is going to expire in the next 3 to 6 months. So 3 to 6 months is about 90 to 180 days. So assuming that we have FGV C86, 85, these two warrants actually qualify. They fall between 90 to 180. But of course, if everything, assuming that everything's are the same, you always choose a warrant with longer expiry, because longer expiry warrant tends to have a slower time decay, a slower time depreciation. And after the time frame, we look at the gearing. So because you are actually gaining leverage exposure to FGV, so assuming that you are low risk investors, anything below 5 times effective gearing, you are fine. Always choose the one with the highest. So for today, we will actually pick FGV C86 because it's liquid, gearing is higher, and longer time to expiry.
And for the tools, you just click on FGV C86. This will all take you to Macquarie. Right up here. Okay, so let's say our trading plans. Okay, and one of the trading plans you can use Robbie. Okay, you can go on to Robbie. Okay, let's type in. This is Robbie, our tools that you have. Let me just type in FGV, enter. Okay, and I'm looking at the trading plan. So trading plan here is to buy above 159. So that means if you go back to FGV 159. 159 will be this price, so which means 10.5 cents, right? 10.5 cents that's the entry that we will buy if you want to buy on the breakout. Now, for those of you who are a bit more experienced, want to buy the pullback, this will be at 147. All right, you can see 147 is the pullback, and let me just go on to here 147. Then you have to buy somewhere down a bit more, perhaps around 7.5 cents.
Yep.
Okay. So one of the things so what does it mean? It means that for FGV, we are not ready to buy yet. We want the price to come to us, or we want it to break out. Two things you can do. You can put on the FGV alert in here. I think you can set the alert here 147. So let me just show you Penta. Why I like to buy that one again 7160. So you click on that one. Penta, for me, if I were to buy the underlying share, which is the mother share, it's $7.60, if I'm mistaken.
No, 4 ringgit 69.
Oh, okay, 4 ringgit. You can see, click on here, you can see the underlying for Penta is 469, and that was as of 10th of January. So if I click here, and this buttons, I would definitely, very quickly, I will know what to choose, right? So it doesn't take a genius. So it'll be Penta CM, right? It's doing 21 cents. And it's up 3.9% here. All right, so let's take a look at Penta CM. I'll hit that one, and that will take me to the price. Okay, let's say what is the price I want to enter. Again, I'll go to my Penta chart. I'll click on the full-fledged. And it's trading now. It's 19.5 cents and 20 cents. This is Penta, okay? Look, all right, that's one of the reasons why I want to buy Penta, because the Pentagon is up. So today I'm buying at the pullback. It doesn't really matter because I want to buy at the pullback. I don't want to wait for it to break out because it's already turned blue. So let's say I want to buy at 467. So 467, I go back to here, which is this price, 19.5 cents. So I'll key 19.5 cents on my computer here to buy amount. Okay, so hit. So if those of you who want to buy, you just buy 19, just park it there and you buy 19.5 cents. Okay.
And just to add on Martin's explanation on the live matrix. So if you wish to wait for the price to get the price at 19.5, you perhaps can queue to buy at 19.5. But if you're the aggressive kind where this is a trending stock, you never actually want to miss the trend, you can actually purchase at 30 cents. So a lot of investors will be asking, how sensitive is actually this particular and how fast the information actually get updated on live matrix. I can say it's live because basically if you log into your platform right now, your trading platform, you can actually check for Penta CM. The buying and selling price is actually 19.5 and 30 cents. And if you want to purchase, you can just buy right away at 30 cents.
That's right. So right now I'm keying in Penta here, okay, to buy at 19.5 cents. Which is okay because I don't think Penta is going to move up that much. But I want to catch that. One of the things that I found out as a fund manager myself, I found out that for 2020, technology stock will do pretty well. There is also another article which I also posted in Facebook this morning, but I will show you those we had. I think Age came out with the undervalued stocks for this year, 2020. I can read it out for you on my handphone. Just give me a minute. But let me key in this order first, okay? 19.5 cents. Normally I don't waste my time. I park there first. After that, dapat, you know. Okay. Very important. Okay. Key in first.
Sorry, Mr. Manu.
Yes.
I'm not really expert in this warrant.
Yes.
The movement of this warrant is in tandem with the mother stock.
Yes, it is.
You are Mr.?
Cairo.
So, Mr. Cairo, you have a question. The question will be, will this particular core, the movement of the core, will it be in tandem with the underlying stock, which is Penta? So, just to recap a bit here on the live matrix, what you can see here, just a moment, Penta.
You just click back, Penta.
You can just type here and look for the warrants that you're interested in. Yeah.
Penta CM.
CM. So you can see the price performance. Assuming that if we get it right, Penta moved from 4.68, it moves up. Assuming 8 cent move is about 4.76. So assuming that if you buy at 20 cents, when Penta shares move up to 4.76, you are able to sell at 20.5 cents. So the price movement will follow. So you can actually use this as a table for you to actually time your entry and exit. You can just queue to buy at 20.5 first, then you queue to sell at 30.5. You can actually do that. But of course, one disclaimer over here is that the live matrix won't be the same every day because warrants has expiry date. So the experience time decay as well. So I'm not saying that this will be there maybe for 1 week. So it will slightly change every single day. So before you actually trade, please make sure you check the live matrix first on a daily basis.
As I said before, Penta CM, just like any warrant, should not be treated like a stock where you hold to expiry. This one got expired date one. Okay. What we doing in here is to using leverage. Now, if you buy Penta, it's 4 ringgit 60 cents. But now I buy, it's only 20 cents. Okay, and I get 4 times leverage. So which means we go for profit target. Very important. Profit target is very important. So normally I try to target 15%, 20%. If I get that in a week's time. Now if you look at Penta, why we do that is because currently Penta has a pullback. You see this one here? So which means we are targeting maybe around 4 ringgit 85 cents.
How?
I think Chikara is asking about the liquidity
Yes,
of the Penta master warrants. Yeah, so here's your solution. We have a solution for you. You just have to go to our website. I think I went through the warrant search. Right, I just go through again. Go to our website under warrant tools, select warrant search. And if you are interested to only look at Penta master, type Penta master and you select Penta master. Look for all the call warrants and click submit. So just give you a couple of minutes. So alright. So as you can see here, so these are the warrants that we have. Of course, I think Inchikara's concern is that in terms of volume, there's no volume because it's all zero. But end of the day, when it comes to trading warrants, traded volume doesn't really matter. What you need to be concerned is actually the buyer-seller volume. Because a good liquidity, there's 2 factors that determine whether the liquidity of a warrant is good or not. Factor number 1 will be the bid volume and ask volume. So it's pretty obvious that among all these warrants that we have here, Penta CM has the best bid and ask volume because it's highest. So why is it so important to have a high bid and ask volume? It allows you to get in and out easy. Because in the market, investors won't have only one investor trading this warrant. You have up to 100 investors trading the same warrant. So with a good amount over there, investors do not have to worry that I can't buy at the price or I can sell back at the price. And also, it's important to look at the spread in between, the buy and sell spread. For example, now it's actually on white spread, which is not too good. But assuming that, okay, this spread, how we actually determine whether it's on white or it's on tie, actually it depends on Penta master stock. So if Penta Master stock is trading on white, for example, Penta buyer is 4.67, then the offer is 4.71. So this is on white. So the warrants have to be on the same page as well, because warrants, end of the day, is a derivative, it's an equity derivative. It follows the underlying market share. I hope I did answer you on the liquidity. End of the day, why another question that arises, how come Penta we only say 35,000, 110,000, whereas other stocks like, for example, just to show you, warrants with very good liquidity will be F3V. If you compare that way, you will see a big difference. For F3V, you have almost a million QA at the buyer and almost 3 million QA at the seller price. This is because F3V market share itself, the buyer and seller volume is a lot, it's very liquid. So in order for us to put in good volumes for warrants, we also have to make sure the market share is actually highly liquid.
The spread only 5 cents.
The common spread, one tick spread for any securities traded below 1 ringgit should be half cent. Should be half cents. Of course, above 1 ringgit is 1 cent. This is the minimum tick size.
Okay, for me, just now I entered to buy warrant at 19.5 cents. I'm just like to take 10% profits. Okay, so if I 10% profit, I'm going to be selling at 21.5. So 21.5, I go back to here, 21.5. Then I'm looking at 475 or a little bit, maybe 421.5. Would that be? Would you agree?
Yeah, there's way I can actually help Martin with the estimation, because Martin hoped that he can actually take profit about
10%.
10%.
Yeah, 10%.
It's not that much for warrant. 10% for warrant, you just have to go to this warrant calculator, where we are able to show you the projected target price for the warrant. How about us using your initial target price, which is 4.85, alright?
4.85 now. Okay. Then Penta CM.
Penta CM. Go to Penta CM for this is the warrant calculator. So of course, warrant calculators means you need to input something in order for it to generate some output.
4.85.
So assuming that now Penta is moving to 4.
No, you just type here.
Just type here. 4.85.
You're gonna remove that.
You have to delete button.
No, delete button.
4.85, and assuming that the target will be reached today. So what you need to do is you just leave it and look at the simulated result. So warrant bid price is showing you, if it's 0.218, means that it will be rounded up to 0.22. Okay. So it's actually higher than your expected price. 0.22 is more than 10%.
More than 10%.
More than 10%.
So for me, I'm just interested in 10%. I get it. So what I do is that I'm already in. So what I do now, I park my profit target. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I park my profit target, and then that's all I need to do. I don't have to worry so much if the target hits. And if the trade doesn't move in the next 3 days or so, I'll probably cut and just move on to the next trade. This is how trading is. It's not for investing. Keep in mind, we want that price. That is why it's important when you buy some of these stocks, the Macquarie, you want to make sure that it is green and heading towards purple. And what we talk about, the sector, which I teach you guys a lot. If you go to the TradeVSA, we have a warrant sector index, or you can go over, those of you who don't know, even in Robi, you just type Bursa sector, which tells you what are the currently hot sector to hit. So you hit Bursa sector and you click on here. This will take you to the Bursa sector, and you can see right now plantation, okay, energy and property. Technology just sort of pops up, but in here I'm still pretty positive on energy. I think if there are FGV, it's a plantation stocks. That's what you noticed early on, plantation, which we have here. Okay, this is actually plantation, which is the strongest, and the red one are the weakest. So you can see KLCI, we just smack right in the middle here. Okay, mouse over. So use Robi to help you to pick the right kind of stock. So for me, while I do that, I normally just want to key in my order to sell here. Okay, so let me just go in. Perhaps Kah Meng can share a bit more on this while I just key in my order. So it's always been very interesting when I trade live too. When I see something, I put in the order too. If you guys want to follow, can do so too. Okay. So let me just key in my order here to sell.
And here we have another question from one of the audience on Facebook. Is asking whether stock warrant will decay over time like index warrants. The answer to your question is yes, because all structured warrants listed on Bursa has expiry date. So how do you know what kind of warrants will actually decay faster than the others? So what you need to look at is the expiry date. For warrants which is going to expire in the next 1 month, decay will be definitely at the fastest rate. So that's why I always emphasize, if you want to get exposure at least for the next 1 week, look for warrants which is going to expire in the next 3 to 6 months. Always give yourself some time buffer. And how do you estimate how much is the time decay, assuming that if you hold these warrants for 1 week to be exact? What we can do is we go back to the warrant calculator. We can do the same as well, because we can go back to Penta CM. We just have to adjust the date. Instead of changing the underlying share price, we just have to know, assuming that Penta share price does not move, it stays 4.67 for the next 1 week. How much is the time decay? How much is the depreciation in terms of the time value? So what you need to do here is you click on date, assuming that is 1 week, so 20th. What you need to do is scroll down and look at the simulated result. And the warrant bid price here is actually 18 cents. It's about 4%. So this is very important in terms of assuming that if investors, you want to buy warrants, you need to fully understand what are the risks associated. All warrants are actually subjected to time value decay. And also because of the gearing effect, don't just look at the potential gain, you also have to think about the potential losses as well, the risk that you're subjected to.
All I have to say about when a lot of mistakes that a lot of beginners makes is that they treat warrant like a stock, and they buy, they hold it forever, or they hold it until expiry. Now remember, as the warrant decay, your time, money, or value drop. So typically holding period, I would say no more than 5 to 6 days, 10 days you want to be out, and then trade another one. So it's always new trading, and the way to get that is using the Macquarie list insight. I think the whole concept here is really trading. You know, it's like picking the horse and you ride. You don't want to sit on a horse forever until the horse get tired, also still on the horse. Because a lot of people come to mentality of investing is the same thing, I buy and I hold. Now, if you don't have time to watch this, don't trade this product in here. Because as I said before, it's a gearing product. Small amount of money to make big amount. So you have to be very, like how I do it. So I already key in my order to sell at 21.5 cents. So that I'm looking at a 10% profit target. So what I do every day, I will just kind of check with it. I have one stock. And another thing, don't buy too many stocks. Don't buy like 5 or 6 of them too much. Normally, if I buy, I will always buy one call warrant, then it's easier for me. It's going to be something of a theme. No one is talking about that yet because I can get in early. That's what I bought Penta. And you can see there are some of these hasn't really moved yet. I think the oil and gas will still be there, IJM, then you have CIMB. So this is where those who have TradeVSA can really use this and really go on using even VS, which is the Dyson factor that we see here. You can see 156 days, C25. You can go and look at that one. But before we do that, what I like to do is always look at the TradeVSA. What is it telling me? All right, so I'm just going to show you our TradeVSA, and we look at V.S. So for me, it's quite simple, right? I've just said before. There you go. Oh, VS is breaking out. Wonderful. This one is going to jala. Look at that. The Pentagon is here. Today is a nice movement. I should have bought VS. I shouldn't have bought Penta. Let me see. I got more. Any more money? Got more money. I'll buy some more. Okay. Got more money. I'll buy. Okay. VS.
But Marty, how about the entry price for?
Entry price. Just masuk only lah now. Now it's 6 and 6.5 cents. Okay. So I will park at 6 cents. See, any more money now? Got money. I'll buy some more. Okay.
So how you can double check whether the live is really live? You check what is the current share price of VS.
What VS are? VS is 25.
Yes,
okay,
for this VSC25, the line that we highlight on in blue usually is the current share price. Of course, which is 6 cents, 6.5 cents.
Well, this one 1 cent move for it 30%. No? So this one I park a bit lower here. I park at 6 cents here. Okay. Okay. 6 cents is VS is how much? 142.
Yep.
142. I go back to VS. which is here 142. Yeah, this price 142 is this price. So I can switch. Now one of the things that with TradeVSA is important. Those who want to trade, you can switch to the hourly chart and you can switch to a 15-minute chart. That also gives you good support. So good support will be 141 or 142. 141 seems to be okay. I think we have a support here 141. So part 141, and if I go back to the live metrics, which is this one here, that will be 6 cents. So 6 cents, is it okay to buy at 6 cents?
If you're, I would always say that if you are more conservative, if you don't wait for the pullback to enter, you can always queue to buy. But if you are the more aggressive type investors, and if this is a breakout stock, sometimes breakout stock doesn't wait for you to actually buy it. If you are a bit more aggressive, you can actually just buy.
So what I do, I'll come back and check later, but for timing, I'll just buy it at 6 cents first, right? Yep. Let me just gain my order here.
And it's always important, after you key in your order, look for your target price and roughly how long it takes for this particular stock to actually reach the target. TradeVSA is here.
C25. Okay, now for the audience who are listening, any particular warrant or stocks you want us to look at? Perhaps you can tell us.
Any stocks in particular that you wanted to go through? I can go through the warrant selection process with you.
PCCS?
Sorry?
PCCS.
PCCS.
TradeVSA, I don't think you have.
Yes, unfortunately we don't have any warrants over PCCS.
You can see it here. That's just trading the stocks anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, it's pullback. Okay, so you wait for the pullback. I think the pullback is going to happen. Just wait for another bar up here before you go and buy it. You can pull back to right here about 147 cents here. Right. Remember, when we trade, we really want to buy at the beginning of the pentagon like here. Then it will start to move up. And usually after 5 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the stocks usually goes up. So after 5 days, let's say I bought Penta. If it doesn't move, in 5 days, I'll just close the trade. I'm not going to lose much. All right. And the whole point, once you get a big movement out, you'll be out with the 10%. So you're always trading new horses. That's the way how we do it. Okay. I already put in my order just now for the VSC C25 at 6 cents. So I'm just gonna wait for it.
Sometimes to get some trading ideas, if you want to know today, what are the top traded warrants, for example, what investors like. You can actually go to the market news, warrant statistics, go to the top traded warrants. So on this page itself, we show both the index and also stock warrant. So as you can see today, actually SKP is actually very popular. Why is it so popular? Perhaps, maybe it's because it's up 10.5%. So Martin, can you actually maybe just try to break down SKP for us in terms of the starting wise?
Yeah, I think SKP was good. As I said before, one of the things we want to look at is the starting out is where. You see, for TradeVSA members, we tell them, look, you always pick charts that comes to you. It's the first thing you want to know. You want to pick charts that has the buying setup. That's where your odds is, right? So we don't subscribe to buying what is popular. We always buy something that is not popular. Once it's popular, what do? You sell. That's the whole point, right? Because when the notion of when it's popular, sometimes there's no edge in that way. So VS, as I said before, I like it because it came into our screener. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I think there's one question here. Just now, like for example, VS, right? How are we going to choose the best warrant?
Oh, okay. Choosing the best warrant for VS, it's second is the easiest. I'll just go for the longest date.
I think for Martin, usually he go for longest date because
or the other one is either C25 or C23. Am I correct?
Generally, I think there's no best way to select warrant. Every investor, every trader, you have your own way. But for us, like I shared, I have 4 simple steps. For this particular screener created by Martin, he focused a lot more on the days remaining and also effective gearing and the liquidity. These are the 3 things that Martin highlight. But generally, if investors, you are new, you want something simple, basic as well, you can actually go to a website, under the warrant search. This step-by-step one will be, like I mentioned, VS. VS industry, you click here, click on the call. Expiry date you can choose, usually we choose 3 to 6, effective going less than 5 times and you click submit. So there you go, this is the filtering process. End of the day, hopefully there's only one warrant left so that you don't need to trouble yourself to buy so many different warrants. But if you are left with 2 choices, so what you can do is look at liquidity. A recap, liquidity is how much the bid and ask volume you have in the market. You can actually see not just one layer, you can see the other layers like 7 cents, 6.5 cents, how much buyer is there. And all these prices are actually put in by Macquarie itself. Not other investors, it's actually put in by us as an issuer. For this particular, just comparing these two, you can see the difference, 1,540. So I wouldn't say it's big difference. Probably if you want better liquidity, you can look at C23, okay, VSC23, because buyer at least is 1 million. So 1,000 means 1 million in your trading platform. If you want something slightly cheaper, higher effective gearing, look at VSC25 because the price was is cheaper, it's 3 ticks cheaper, it's 6 cents only. And if you compare the effective gearing, actually not much, it's just 0.1 times more.
Is it the same if you buy from other platforms?
Yes, you don't actually purchase any warrants or actually sell any warrants on our platform because we don't have any platform for the transaction. What we do is we provide information to investors. In order to execute the transaction, you can actually go use any broker that you prefer. It can be UB, it can be CIMB, it can be Maybank, it can be Hong Leong. Yeah. If you want to actually kickstart, you can actually try it on the spot and try to compare it with the live matrix prices. Should be the same.
Okay. So basically, there's only 2 ways to look at it. It's either, for my case, I'll always generally pick, all things being equal, I pick the one with the longest date. It gives me more time to play. In this example, I have another 50 days, which is about 1.5 months. If I decided to hold it, in the case, because if you look at the VS, the chart here, let me just bring in the chart previously in here. I got a lot of time to play with. You can see VS just breaking out, and it has been in a long congestion in here. Let me just take out VS. Let me look at VS now. So I'll look at Roby, I'll type in Roby. I will look at the fundamentals, right? And yeah, it's 1 out of 8, not that great. Look at the trading plan. Okay, it's around $1.40. So 140 was the entry. You can see that, right? So which means we already passed it. So it's okay to go in. Target price 153. So if you really want to use the target price of 153, you can go back to Macquarie here. C25 153. You're talking about 7.5 cents.
Definitely it will be higher as
let's say 8 cents. 8 cents divided by 6 cents. Let me see how much is that. That's about 20%. Am I correct?
Let me just do a quick calculation. It's about 33.
Yeah,
33%.
So normally I won't go for 31. If I'm 20%, I'll take. I'm just going to move on. But remember, there is a period where I can carry, right, 5 or 6 days. I don't know how big this swing is, but definitely once I get my trade is done at 6 cents, I'll definitely go in and key in perhaps 7.5 cents for my profit objective. So I'm already in this one.
And again, if you compare it versus the stock performance, doing the same trade, but instead of buying the warrant, you buy into stock.
Generally, people would ask me, do you put stop loss in warrant? I don't, but I do a time decay for myself. Which means if 5 days the trade don't move, I cut whatever price it is. It's very important because you're swinging the chart. You don't want it to come down. One swing up, if it cannot move, fail to rally, get out of it. Okay, so I'm in. If it doesn't move well tomorrow or just 1 or 2 more days, I'm just going to be out by Wednesday. So that's why for you to trade warrant to be successful, you need to be very disciplined. Don't come in with the mentality, yes, I want to make a lot of money, but I take it like a stock. You sure lose money. Don't do that. Okay? So that's why we created all these tools for you, and you have to be disciplined. Or if you want to start off here, just trade small, perhaps just one warrant for that one. Our market's going to be bullish, I can tell you, until Chinese New Year. Alright? It's just that these few days they have to figure out all the necessary what's happening in the US. Even today there's up and down in India. Any more stocks from the audience who is with us, and also from the live FB that you wanted to look at. Again, the Macquarie here, this is, we have about, how many stocks do you have?
It's less than 100. It's about 90-ish. But of course, the list will actually go on more and more. Because for us to actually list warrants over a particular underlying stock, you need to meet the Bursa requirement. In terms of the market capitalization, you have to be above 1 billion ringgit for 3 consecutive months. So we do have a lot of names which is on our KIV list. We are just waiting for them to actually meet the requirement before we can actually start issuing warrants over the net.
Okay, any more questions? Let's go through the agenda here. It's almost 1 hour. Yeah, we are here now. We did the live trading. I'll show you and review some of the stocks in here. Oh yeah, definitely we look at SKP. Okay, SKP first. SKP. So definitely I want to look at SKP. We look at the stock first. Okay, SKP Resources. Okay, SKP to yeah, it's a pullback stock. You know, since then it's been moving up. So it's a pullback. It does looks good. But again, my preference, I always want to buy at just like this Pentagon here. It just started to move. That's one thing good about it. Remember, when we trade the warrant, we want to trade one direction, up. If it doesn't move, we are out. So same thing. If you're going to hire someone to come and do work, you know, if it doesn't perform, fire them. Same thing with the stocks too. You want to be out and then just move on to the next stock. If that is not the flavor which is suitable for you, then maybe warrant is not suitable for you. But what we do hope from what Leong Kah Meng had said before, the put warrant which is coming in help us to short the market. I think that would be something great. But for the time being, our market tends to be a bit bullish, so we shall see for that one. Any more questions from the live Facebook? If not, we will end it here, and then we'll just open to the audience.
One more questions from Facebook. Can we trade SGX and HSI warrant?
SGX and HSI warrant. The answer is yes. HSI warrant, right? But is this today this warrant that we have is only for stocks? We will come out with HSI warrant. But if you just HSI, you don't even need the stock warrant. Go straight to your TradeVSA, and if you are running on the HSI, and make sure you have trading on a 5-minute chart. Okay, HSI futures. I think this is usually from our members in here. This is where we have our TradeVSA switch to a 3-minute chart. Okay, and you can see that there you go. It's right. Open up 9, there's a buy signal here. All right, so this you can see here. So we will cover the HSI future on another session because that one is also a live trading one. It moves a bit much faster. But today we just want to do the stocks for those members who have. Okay. Any more questions from? Let me just check here.
Will this warrants follow the other warrants on their compliance with the Sharia?
Okay, so to further elaborate more on this, company warrants are actually Sharia compliant, but structural warrants are non-Sharia compliant. But essentially, they are both warrants. So it's actually up to regulators to actually classify, and we are still in the midst of actually discussing with them how to actually put structural warrants into to make it compliant.
Okay. Do we have SGX warrant? No, right?
No, we do not have any SGX warrants.
Singapore pretty dead.
No. When you are referring to SGX warrants, are you referring to the SIMSKI, which is the index, or are you referring to the stocks on SGX?
I think it's both SIMSKI and you have the SGX SDI there.
If you want to trade SIMSKI warrant, you can actually trade. We do have our Singapore team.
Okay.
Singapore warrants.
So trade to the Singapore warrant website,
yes.
not the Malaysian website. Okay. Then you pay Sing dollar. You don't pay ringgit. That's the difference. Okay. Any more questions? Yeah, we have Suilo for that one. No, those listed in Hong Kong. Yeah, if those stocks that are listed in Hong Kong Stock Exchange, you need to go to What's the website for that one?
For Hong Kong stock, actually for Hong Kong stocks, Singapore stocks, we can actually list it in Malaysia, but end of the day, it depends on the demand itself. So if you're interested to trade, do let us know, give us some feedback. You can email to us, which I will share it here. You can email to us here. So we have our number and also our email, which is info@malaysiawarrants.com.my. Any kind of stocks on SGX or Hong Kong Exchange that you might be interested in, do let us know. And we will update you, if we can actually do it in Malaysia.
Okay, good. I'm just checking whether has Penta moved up. Penta moved in my favor. Usually if it hits my target within the day, I'm already out. Okay, so that's how you trade. CM, it's still the same, about 19.5 cents, 19 cents in here. Okay, so that's all we have for today for our live FB fans, but it's not. But for those who are here, we will still continue and perhaps answer some question in here. But if you have any question, do get in touch with us, and there is a help desk, right? There is a number.
Warrants hotline.
Yeah, a Warrants hotline. And where's that page you showed me the other day?
Here you go.
Okay, that's the hotline. And for those of you who are interested in the warrant, they also have a Telegram in here. Do join the Telegram. A lot of good information in there. Macquarie has their own research team. Some of the new warrants as well. Some very interesting sectors, and I do learn a lot also from their research side of the warrant. Do join that Telegram, and that's all we have today. So next month we will discuss another topic, especially on warrant, and we have our guest here, Mr. Leong Kah Meng, to talk about. I think perhaps we will look at futures next month. But if you have something interesting, do give us a call, send us a WhatsApp or email. But the whole point is that we want to guide you safely to maximize your return with warrant, especially the Malaysian side. All right, thank you for coming.
All right, thank you for joining the call.
Okay, we're done here.